Hi, how's it going? Today I wanted to talk about something that I started doing a little while ago that has had a positive impact on my day-to-day life. Cutting out social media to free up my time. As some of you may know, I use this channel to motivate myself and to turn ideas into actions. Here's a thought that came to me a little while ago. If I spend less time doing wasteful things, I'll have more time to do meaningful things. It's a simple idea really, but like most ideas, applying it in real life is where the real challenge lies. So I started by writing down all the things that I do in a typical day, especially the stuff that eats up my time and gives little back. From that list, one thing really stood out: my use of social media. My phone's screen time told me everything that I needed to know about the time that I spent scrolling. It was way too much, and that was all there was to it. The thing is, I've tried quitting social media before, but something was different this time. I had just gone back from a trip to Vietnam where, because of the pace and the new environment, I naturally went on for weeks barely using any of my accounts. So it was like an accidental detox. The trip gave me the momentum that I needed. I'd already proven to myself that I could go on without using social media. It was just going to have to happen at home now. When I got back from my trip, I watched a documentary called The Social Dilemma. If you haven't seen it, I think it's worth checking out. I won't go into too much detail, but it talks about how social media apps are designed to keep us hooked and how they impact a user's life. And I had seen it before, but the thing was, this time I wasn't just aware of the issue, I actually wanted to make a change. So in late January 2025, I made a decision. I would deactivate all of my social media accounts for the entire month of February. The first week was brutal. I kept picking up my phone out of habit. I would unlock it and just stare to realize there was nothing there for me to do anymore. At one point, I even downloaded a game that I started playing a lot. It took me a little while, but I realized that I just swapped out one bad habit for another. But this time, it was a lot easier to fix. As I mentioned earlier, cutting out bad habits was only half of my plan. The other half was to replace them with things that I found useful. So here's a couple things that I started doing to keep myself busy. Reading, journaling and reviewing my trading strategies, listening to albums that I'd been putting off for months, doing a couple more home workouts. So really nothing too special, but all things that I felt improved my life in some way. By the end of the month, a couple things had changed. I no longer had the reflex of picking up my phone just to see what was going on online. I could focus on one thing for a lot longer. I got better at doing the things that I replaced social media with. And I feel like time goes by a little bit slower since I'm not on my phone all the time. Mentally, I felt lighter, less overwhelmed by information that I never asked for in the first place. I knew less about the constant stream of events, and I was okay with that. And now when I go online, it's with intention. I look at what I need, and that's it. Of course, social media isn't all bad. My favorite thing about it is that it makes it easy to stay in touch with people that are close to me. So without it, I had to make a real effort to stay connected with others. But that led to cool moments, like random phone calls, going out to grab coffee and catching up, or even pulling up to a friend's house to chill. I could have done all those things before, but not having access to social media pushed me a little bit more towards those alternatives. It's been a little over 2 months since my little experiment ended, and I've not reactivated my accounts yet, but I might, who knows. I feel more focused, more positive, and less dependent on social media. And I enjoy feeling this way. I'm happy that using social media feels more like a conscious choice rather than just a reflex, and I'll try to keep things that way going forward. If you've been feeling a similar way about your relationship with social media, I recommend giving something like this a try. It wasn't easy at first, but I definitely think it was worth the effort. So that's pretty much it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.